What's going on? What's going on? We back. Goodfella Sports TV. Y'all know what the business is, man. See, we got three UK haters in the building already. Don't even want to hear what I got to say. Just got mad off the title. Obviously, I don't care. Salute to all the brothers and sisters out there supporting what we're doing. Goodfella Sports TV. We're going to talk some boxing early in the morning. Want to get it in before I get the day started. You know, the NFL, about to crank up. That's what I do on Sunday. I might have to make some moves as well. But shout out to all the brothers and sisters out there once again supporting what we're doing. And yeah, it was a bum bash yesterday. Let's keep it real, man. You know, the UK loves bum bashes. You know, that's an actual fact. The UK loves bum bashes. And everybody that knew anything about boxing knew Tony Bellew didn't have a fucking chance in hell at beating Oleksandr Usyk yesterday. Renardo Tool, Magnetic Shamil, Cool Man said, man, what's going on? Everybody knew this was a mismatch. I mean, you go back and look at Tony Bellew's resume. Who the hell has he ever beat other than Isaac Chulamba? That's the only guy he ever beat on his resume. BJ Flores, nobody holds him in high regards. I mean, come on. You know, you got one KB02, whatever your name is. Sound like you Kenny Porter's bitch. Really, you don't think Bellew isn't shit? Bellew ain't shit. Bellew ain't shit. Hell no, Bellew ain't shit. Hell no, man. I knew he had no chance. I was impressed what he did last night. Let me cut the bullshit. I was impressed what he did last night and counter punched a little bit. But Tony Bellew ain't done nothing in his career. You know, Tony Bellew, to be honest, ain't done nothing in his career, bro. And like I say, it wasn't no big fight. It wasn't no big fight for nobody else outside the UK. Tony Bellew even told you the whole fight week that he could not box him and this and that. But like I said before, it was a glorified mismatch. It was a money grab for Usyk. Most people felt like Bellew exposed Usyk, and that might have been true. That might have been true, but I mean, if you want to call him decent, you know, you can call Tony Bellew decent, but like I say, he wasn't no world championship. He wasn't no world elite level fighter. He wasn't no world class level fighter. Let's keep it real about Tony Bellew, man. He wasn't. Who did he ever beat? You know, when you say world class elite level fighter, bro, I think he was just a step above a domestic UK fighter, man. You can look at his resume. Okay, let's go back. All right. His first notable win, in my opinion, was Nathan Cleverly back in 2011. No, he lost to Nathan. He lost to Nathan Cleverly by majority decision. For the WBO World Lightweight title holder. I remember that fight. And I believe Cleverly went on after that fight. Let me double check. And lost to Sergey Kovalev. Hold on. I could be wrong. Yeah, he lost to Kovalev 4 fights after that. So his first win, excuse me real quick. His first win was, his first notable fight was versus Nathan Cleverly. He lost that. You know, then he had a draw versus Isaac Chulamba. Then he came back in a split draw, excuse me. Between that, he beat Edison Miranda. Edison Miranda dropped Andre Ward, I believe. He came and beat Edison Miranda for the vacant WBC Intercontinental Silver title. 2 fights later, he beat Isaac. He had a split draw with Isaac Chulamba. He beat Isaac Chulamba, got knocked out by Adonis Stevenson after the win over Chulamba. He came back a couple fights after that. He beat Nathan Cleverly, split decision. He avenged that loss. And then after that, he beat BJ Flores. He beat David Haye twice. And then he lost to Oleksandr Usyk. So, like I say, I don't see any elite level wins on here. David Haye was old, past his prime. I don't see one elite level win. I think this guy was blessed to get a world title versus the African character, Iglu Bamuka. Tony Bellew stopped him. I thought he was from the Dominican Congo. I think this is the same guy. I think he was a solid guy. It was a good win for Tony Bellew. Then he beat BJ Flores. But I don't see elite. A lot of people use the word elite world class fighter. When I say elite, when you say elite world class fighter, Donald Banks in the super chat, Usyk did what Hay would have done if not injured. Exactly. Um, yeah, I don't have my headphones on right now, bro. Fuck. I don't fuck. Yeah, give me a minute, World Break. I gotta go downstairs and get my headphones. I don't see. I just don't see elite level win on his resume. Like the guy from Congo, that was a good win. I thought he was gonna be a really, really good cruiserweight. But Syndicated J, what's going on? I didn't see elite. This ain't an elite win. I like the Gastier, the British fight who won yesterday. The Marco Hutt for a win for Usyk, in my opinion, was all better than this win versus Tony Bellew, in my opinion. Then Andre Ward want credit for the same win. How's it the same win? How's it the same win? He didn't fight neither one of these guys. He didn't fight neither one of them. He wanted to fight Tony Bellew. Obviously, I don't think he really wanted to fight Oleksandr Usyk. I don't think he wanted to fight Usyk at all. I said that. I favor Usyk over Andre Ward. I don't think he wanted to fight Usyk at all. I think he wanted to fight Tony Bellew for the money grab. And that's an actual fact. But Tony Bellew was never shit. Come on, tell me what's Tony Bellew's best win? We just went through his resume. The dude from Congo, Isaac Chulumba, an older Nathan Cleverly. You know what I'm saying? What's his best win? He don't have no elite win. David Hay was old. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real. Stop trying to pump up these fighters, man. He wasn't no elite fighter. Elite fighter is like he's a good contender. He's a good contender, but when you say world-class fighter, he ain't no world-class fighter. Because when he stepped up to world-class competition, he got knocked out. He was lucky to be a world title holder. He was lucky to hold a title. When you say elite, if it was one title per division, would you consider Tony Bellew a light heavyweight or cruiserweight or heavyweight holding the title if it came down to one title of division? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't put him in that category. If it was two titles in a division, you wouldn't say he would get a title. If it was three titles in a division, he probably still wouldn't get a title. That's just a fact. He ain't no world elite class fighter. He ain't no A-level fighter. He ain't no B+ level. He ain't a B-level fighter. Tony Bellew is a C+ level fighter. He's a C+ fighter at best. At best. He ain't whooping nobody. He ain't whooping nobody. He ain't whooping no guy in his prime. He wasn't whooping Kovalev. He wasn't whooping Stevenson. He wouldn't even whoop Alvarez. He wasn't whooping none of them right now. He wasn't whooping Andre Ward at light heavyweight. He wasn't going to do that. What you mean this argument don't fit? It do fit. He ain't no elite level fighter. Stop. People, look here, man. This was not the best Usyk win. This was not the best Usyk win. Period. I ain't got time to argue this morning. This ain't the best Usyk win. I think the Michael Hunter win was better than the Tony Bellew win. I think the Breeders' win was better than the Tony Bellew win. I think the Hulk win was better than the Tony Bellew win. And, quite frankly, Tony Bellew was more competitive than Gastier. But if you put Gastier in there with Tony Bellew, I think people still will pick Tony Bellew to beat Gastier. Get up out of here, man. You ain't about to come in here and justify and tell me Tony Bellew is an elite level fighter or world-class fighter. No, you're not going to come in here and tell me that. I won't allow you to come on here and tell me that he's an elite level fighter. He's not. He ain't. An average man, exactly. He's an average fighter. He's an average fighter. Only reason Usyk took this fight is for the money grab. He's a popular fighter. 80% of and I'm probably being fucking generous when I say 80%. 80% of your UK fighters are average fighters at best. They just average popular fighters in their neighborhood. They average. Average. And that's just a fact. They just average popular fighters. The UK fan base loves boxing more than Americans love boxing at its purest form. Exactly. He's a British level fighter, nothing more, nothing less. He's a domestic fighter that's an opportunist. And ain't nobody taking nothing away from Usyk. Salute to him. He did what he had to do. He figured him out. He knocked him out. What's going on, Lamont? I mean, you can make it about Andre Ward, man, if you want to. I'm not a big Andre Ward supporter. So I'm not going to argue with him. You know, I'm not going to argue about Stevenson and Ward. He didn't want to fight him. I've had videos about that. So I'm not the biggest Andre Ward supporter. So you won't get an argument from me. You won't get an argument from me from that. But what I'm saying is this. This wasn't no fucking all-time great fight win for Usyk. He had 3 other bigger wins, in my opinion, by 3 other foes that was better than him. Okay? That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter. I hope a lot of people one guy told me they forcing him to go to heavyweight. I don't agree with that. He said he wanted to go unify the heavyweight division, become undisputed, and do that. That was off the strength of his words. So don't have a pity party because he put the narrative out there. Wasn't somebody forcing him to go to cruiserweight, even though the narrative, even if he wanted to be a career cruiserweight, the narrative is always, okay, in America, nobody gives a fuck about cruiserweight. Why you ain't at heavyweight? That's how people look at the cruiserweight division. You know? So at the end of the day, he said he wanted to go to heavyweight. All right? He said he wanted to unify heavyweight. Excuse me. He said that shit. So now, when you say something, you got to be a man of your word. And you got to come through with it and go to heavyweight. And I think he'll do good at heavyweight if he make some small adjustments. Okay? Some small adjustments. But before we talk about the heavyweight aspect of it, what about him fighting Andre Ward? That's a very, very tough fight. Let me say that. I favor Usyk because how can I favor a guy and Andre Ward who's about 34, 35 years old, who's no longer in his prime, who didn't look in his prime versus Kovalev, at least in the first fight. Second fight, he got a fluid drained out his knee, but I still don't see him going up 25 pounds and beating a guy like Usyk, you know, especially with the power Usyk displayed yesterday. So you can take it for how you want it. I think I favor Usyk, especially if Andre Ward does not get a tune-up. If Andre Ward does not get a tune-up, I'm all in on Usyk. I'm all in on Usyk. You know, that's just my personal opinion on that. Some people might not like it, you know, but like I said, I'm not, you know, Andre Ward ain't one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's a really good fighter. I respect everything he did in the sport, from his little catchweights at middleweight to super middleweight to light heavyweight. But, you know, him talking about Joshua and Usyk, I think Usyk is a hell of a stretch for him. And I think it's a mistake. Stay retired. It's obviously that Andre Ward got the itch to come back. It's obviously he got the itch to come back. I'm good on that. I think Usyk is too big, too strong, too powerful for Andre Ward. I think, you know, he wants to stay relevant, but that's on him. What's going on, World Breaker?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? What you think?
I called that fight last night, play-by-play, bro. And, you know, I'm watching it on a laptop. And Usyk missed a lot of shots for a long time. And Bellew wore himself out evading shots. I think if Usyk had made it to the scorecards, Bellew made it to the scorecards, Bellew would have won just based on majority of rounds won, in my opinion. So I, I overall look at it like this. If you squint your eyes, Usyk looks like a great fighter, pretty good fighter. But upon closer inspection, a lot of holes in his game. And if he goes to heavyweight, his best possible fight is Bryant Jennings, in my opinion, who's 34 with an 85-inch reach. 84, 85-inch reach. I think his best to stay at cruiserweight. People talking about Andre Ward. Andre Ward's never been a cruiserweight. Hell, he was a small light heavyweight. So it wouldn't make sense for Andre Ward to come out of retirement. I think Andre's retired. And, you know, my feels on Andre Ward, very capable, competent fighter. I don't rate him that high overall. To me, he's missing a few things. But, hey, what do I know? I just boxed a few years. So, you know, and I've watched the sport my entire life. So I see levels to everything. Usyk is a good fighter. I don't see Usyk as this end all be all or this heavyweight level Lomachenko. This is really what I see and how I see it. Bellew is a career trash bag, in my opinion, and he elevated his game to show that Usyk wasn't that good, in my opinion. So hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I like Usyk over Andre Ward, but like I said, yeah, Usyk was getting touched up when he played the counter when Bellew played the counter punching role and, you know, used his range. And I think it kind of threw him off. He was expecting Usyk to come on the inside, but he did make the proper adjustments. You know, he put Usyk to sleep with some of his soft touches and then turned it up on him. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be tough for him at heavyweight, but I think he can make the proper adjustments. If he don't make no adjustments and he say he's just going to eat pasta and move up and don't make those adjustments, it ain't going to end up well for him at heavyweight. A guy like Deontay Wilder put his power out.
Bro, the only heavyweight fighter I've seen him fight is Joe Joyce, and I think they weren't heavyweight at the time. If you look at Joe Joyce, he's a lumbering, come forward type, more in the line of how George Foreman fought, but to a far lesser degree in skill. I mean, that's that's the only heavyweight type I've seen that's current that Usyk's fought, and a guy like him is gonna look good against Joe Joyce, who has a considerable amount of holes in his game. I don't think Joe Joyce fights the top level. He's not ready. Joe Joyce is 34. I think Usyk turns 32 in January. I mean, these guys' windows are short because they lived at amateur. Usyk, like I said, I like Usyk. I just don't think Usyk is top level as far as Andre Ward. Andre Ward's never fought at cruiserweight. I mean, shit. I mean, did he look like a big light heavyweight to you? Because that's not what I saw.
No, he didn't feel in the light heavyweight that good. But yeah, when Usyk and Joe Joyce fight, it was in the World Series of Boxing, and Usyk got a lot of I mean, Joe Joyce he was amateurish. Well, he only got like 7 true professional fights. You know, so he real amateurish in his style, man. So yeah, I mean, he beat him up. He had plenty holes in this game. That was a couple years ago. You know, I think a guy like Big Baby Miller is a bad style for Usyk. You know, a guy, you know, that's just gonna come forward and outweigh you over 100 pounds. That's a terrible style for him.
Right. I mean, I think all the heavyweight styles are difficult for him. He's gonna. I mean, someone on my live stream, I believe, said, you know, he doesn't see Usyk competing at top 20. You know, this is one guy, not me.
Let me see. Let me look and go through the list and see. I mean, true. I mean, he gonna have to make some adjustments. He gonna make some adjustments. Like, I mean, like as far as his style, they might have to be, you know, mid major adjustments, but you know, a whole overhaul at 32 years old, that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
You know, but you look at You got a guy like Brian Jennings. I mean, I think like a guy like Carlos Takam would be a good test for him. A guy like Charles Martin would be a good test for him. Chisora, Povetkin, even at this age, that'd be a great test for him. To start off, Derek Chisora is a great test for him as well. These are all guys that's somewhere in the top 15. Some of these guys I don't even recognize. I never seen fight. Alfredo Quindo, fuck it, why not him? He an older guy.
That dude is 93.
I mean, shit, he got to get a soft touch in. Robert Helatius.
He fought 5 years ago last, right?
Yeah, I think a guy like Andy Ruiz will be a tough fight for Usyk coming to heavyweight.
Yeah,
a guy with some...
Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No. Go ahead. I wasn't about to say nothing.
Now, I mean, this is the thing. When a guy like Tony Bellew can make you miss. But
I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this. He wasn't expecting that shit. You know, when you come in with a certain mindset, you know, some fighters probably would have lost a unanimous decision in that situation because they got no versatility. What's going on, Mr. Betts? Some guys would have lost. I think that kind of threw him off because he was expecting this guy to come forward and kind of smother the work. And I think it kind of threw him off, and he wasn't expecting him to really fight in that aspect. And when you expect, you've seen that before. You expect one thing when one fighter expect one thing, and they don't, you know, feel that's coming. Sometimes they do struggle. So I'm not gonna put too much stock into that.
But
I don't think he did.
What adjustment did he actually make? The only adjustment I saw was Bellew get tired. He gassed himself with all that movement because it was abnormal for him in his fighting style. And so I didn't see Usyk change his punch style. I didn't see him change anything about his game plan. Ultimately, the benefit was Bellew fatiguing, and he started getting popped. He couldn't do it. He didn't have anything for it because he was completely exhausted.
Well, I think that goes into him changing. He did change the speed of his punches some. He didn't really change a lot in his style. I do agree with that. But you know, he did set him up. He threw a lot of arm punches, and I think he hit harder than Tony Bellew expected as well too. And he had to stay alert. I don't think Tony Bellew could overcome the volume. That's what made Tony Bellew tired. It was the mental, having to focus for 12 rounds and the volume that's coming at him. He couldn't deal with the volume and the mental pressure that was put on him as well too. And eventually, you know, I didn't think he had that type of power to put him out of there. But, you know, he got him out of there. But I think he go to heavyweight. He can't fight in that style. It's over with. He bring that style to heavyweight, that same style, and just put on weight. He a walking knockout.
Yeah, you can't pity pat your way to success at heavyweight. Even Muhammad Ali, who wasn't considered the heaviest puncher in heavyweight history, his pity pats were enough to keep you respecting him.
He had a lot of speed on him, and he also was very, very fast, and he had a couple inches on Usyk as well. I don't know what Usyk's length is, about what, a 78?
Yeah, he's listed at 70. I think Ali was 83, 82 or 83.
That's a big difference.
Right. And that's the thing that Usyk is walking into if he goes to heavyweight. Most of your top guys are over 81. Okay. As far as reach. I think Wilder's 83, Fury's 85. Hell, Brian Jennings, who I think is the best possible matchup for Usyk at this point at heavyweight, is a 6'3", same height, has an 85-inch reach. Orangutan arm bastard. And I just think that's his best possible matchup based on size, based on punch output, and everything. Give me 1 second, man.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's an uphill battle for him. Definitely is, but you know, I think eventually, I think he'll figure it out. I think he definitely figures it out about how he wants to attack a heavyweight. Where you get a title, I think, you know, one of his best matchups is also Joshua, to be honest. You know, he got a lot of great foot movement. You know, and movement bothers Joshua. He's a lot of heavyweights. That's gonna be his best attribute is his movement. Not these heavyweights is clumsy. You know what I'm saying? Ruled that what division they ducking Yard. Yard, get the hell up out of here, man. You talk about Anthony Yard. Now I like Anthony Yard as much as the next guy, but now I don't know, bro. You know, Anthony Yard is taking his time. I ain't mad at him, bro. Take your time because you don't get an opportunity to do it but more than once. We'll go back through the chat, man. I know I missed a lot of chats, man. Um, Afro player Bellew is known because he commentates fights and runs his mouth, not his resume. I guess that will be a fact. Punchline Pew Usyk gonna go to heavyweight and beat Joseph Parker 2.0. I think Joseph Parker got a lot of ability. He just don't have a mean streak. I think Usyk got the mean streak in him. Donald Banks, David Hay was old and injured. That is a fact. Low pop play say nobody wanted to fight Macaboo. True. Nobody wanted to fight that guy. That guy was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. That was one of my favorite cruiserweights about 2-3 years ago. British true boxer Phil Bellew has never beat a champion. He won a vacant British vacant Euro, vacant Commonwealth, vacant world title. A great point about that. James Hicks, not a bad resume for a UK fighter. Hay is still dangerous at an old age. Yeah, I guess until you get to the fifth round and gas is out. Crawford hasn't fought world-class competition, but people have him number one. Are you going to call Spencer Bumbasher if he beats up Crawford? Crawford does have world competition. I mean, I believe Gamboa was a gold medalist, was a former world title holder. I know he's a blown up featherweight, but that's a great win. Postal was a world champ was a world title holder as well. A guy that Danny Garcia didn't want to fight. Jeff Horn, say what you want to say. He beat up Manny Pacquiao. So he got world title wins. Delorme was dubbed to be another great title holder at some point. Didn't happen. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do. He got way better wins. He got wins that Tony Bellew would have lost versus that level of competition. Like Stevenson, come on. Magnanimous, if Joshua Duck Ortiz, he'll never fight Usyk. He don't want that southpaw work. Yeah, that's a great point. He is a southpaw, and that is very awkward, and he has great movement. UK fighter standards must be low. Judah Ben Israel. I don't know how Bellew even got the Creed movie role. Probably because he's from the UK and they wanted the UK. He played a great role in that fight, in that movie, though. I ain't mad at him. He might have a little career in acting, in my opinion. Renee, it wasn't. It was an average man. Bellew was doing well. He was doing well, but he got beat. Bellew was mediocre. I agree, Emmanuel. Afro player, Bellew lost to a 36-year-old Stevenson. Yeah, Stevenson started boxing late, so he was actually a pro, 7 years pro at 36. So he started boxing at 29. So don't let the name fight. Fought 3 separate lineal champs in his career. Okay, and lost to all of them. He lost to all of them, though. That don't happen. Yeah, Pacquiao. I don't think Pacquiao did Pacquiao fight 3 straight lineal champions in his move up. So I guess it is the accomplishment, but I don't give awards for or moral awards for losing. Lamont, what's going on? 76 Sports Talk. What's going on? I like Ward, but Usyk will be a big test for Ward. Good fight. Yeah, way big test for him. Who refused to fight Usyk? I don't know. Nobody. As a cruiserweight, you're not in a position to refuse to fight anybody. Renee said Ward probably retired as a moneymaker strategy, retired for a minute, say you want to come back, attract some more attention. Could be. He sound like he want to come back. Afro player, they happen Usyk up to me. Yeah, obviously it's gonna seem like hype. When Evander Holyfield moved up, it seemed like hype as well too. Because because when you at cruiserweight, people just look at it like, why you in a heavyweight? So yeah, I think when you become undisputed and you win a tournament, I believe you deserve all the accolades in the world. Wilder got touched up by Spilka. Oh, it's because he got knocked out. Usyk gets touched by Bellew. Oh, I'll explain that reason why he got touched up by Bellew, because he wasn't expecting that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. And he wasn't expecting Bellew to fight in that nature. And I think it threw his rhythm off. So at the end of the day, it was a great knockout for him. Sean Cannon, what's going on? People dodging Yard. Come on, man. Tell Yard to move and fight Usyk then. He a big ass light heavyweight too. Ronald Frankie, everybody buys the Wilder fights like it's Black Friday. Everybody buy the Wilder fight like it's Black Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I wanted to go to it, but ain't gonna happen. I might go to the Barclays Center next year. Let's keep going. Ron, okay. Ray Zone, what's going on, family? Okay, we back to the beginning. Hold on. Usyk going out. Hashman boxing. Usyk beats Ward. Too big. I agree. I think he punched too hard too. It'd be interesting to see if Andre Ward can get in the inside. Diamond Moore, y'all sleep. Ward would outclass Usyk. I gotta see. I mean, I can't say he gonna outclass nobody when I ain't seeing him in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? When I ain't seeing him in the trenches. Who are the 3 lineal champions he fought? He only fought Stevenson and Usyk. Cleverly was never lineal. Okay, that's a good point. Usyk can beat Miller, Parker, and Jennings. Ray Zone. Usyk can, I don't know if he can beat Miller. Okay, let's talk about that. Let me get to the rest of these comments. I don't think he can beat Miller. And I'm explaining that. Yard is my overrated, is overrated. Yeah. He don't want to test himself. Cleverly just got retired and ran out by Prime Badu Jack. Yeah, Cleverly took ass whooping. What's good? What's going on, Brian? David Hay was a lineal champ at cruiserweight, but he fought him at heavyweight, so he wasn't a lineal champ at a heavyweight. So I don't know if that count, but hey. But yeah, I think Miller is a bad style for Oleksandr Usyk. Remember, this dude Usyk's probably gonna move up to heavyweight about 215. 220 at the most. Miller is 317 pounds. He's gonna outweigh him by 100 pounds. By 100 pounds. I know he doesn't punch the best, but for a 317-pound dancing bear, Miller got a lot of fucking punching power. It ain't like you can buy. It ain't like you going. Now, if Usyk got real power, it's gonna take a lot to hurt somebody that outweighs you 100 pounds. That's gonna have to take a lot of body shots. And I think ultimately, if Miller can learn how to turn over his hands and generate more power, which is a big if. If it was a fifth, we all drunk. What's up, Fat Oranges? I don't know. I don't know, man. I think Miller might get him, man. Right now. See, I say he can get AJ because AJ, he don't press. AJ like to fight at a distance, get leverage on his punches. He don't move his head. Miller moves his head a little bit. Miller go to the body. I think AJ, if Usyk got enough hot sauce on them punches, AJ gonna become tentative and just try to box him, and then I think he'll take it to the in close range and kind of bang out Usyk. But I think Usyk boxing ability, and if his stamina move up with him, I think he can have a good chance versus AJ because AJ's so stiff. Miller ain't so stiff. He a big tank, low to the ground. He bend a little bit. He move his heads. And he outweighs you by 100 freaking pounds. AJ might outweigh Usyk by 30, 40 pounds. You talk about a whole 100 pounds. 100, you know how much 100 pounds is, bro? If Usyk come in at 215 and Big Baby come in at 317, and this fat nigga got stamina and power, that's tough. That's tough. That's a whole. You know how many weight classes 100 pounds is? That's like from paperweight to damn near cruiserweight or heavyweight. 100 pounds. 100. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That should be illegal. I wouldn't even want to sanction that fight. That's unbelievable, man. He outweighs him. He will outweigh Deontay Wilder by similar to almost 100 pounds as well. 317 to about 220, 225. That's insane. Do you know how hard that is to get in there with a guy that's going to just press forward all day? Now, that's the difference. Miller going to take some to give some. Joshua not going to take none to give none. Not off bat. You know what I'm saying? And Ortiz that will be a very technical fight with Usyk. That's a very technical fight. That's probably the most technical heavyweight fight you're gonna see. But I just think Ortiz punched way too hard. I think Ortiz hand speed. Y'all can call him 69 years old. Y'all can listen to Rick Glasser. He's one of the most dishonest, retarded fools out there. Rick Glasser is a joke. Rick Glasser hate on all the Heyman fighters and say how it's so bad and stuff of that nature, but he won't talk about Top Rank. And when you ask him what's Top Rank's best fight card of the year, he won't answer that. You talk about Top Rank's attendance, he won't talk about that neither. So, like I said, he's a joke. Rick Glasser's a joke, but yeah, man, I just think the Ortiz fight, man. A lot of you dudes underrate Ortiz or whatever. I don't underrate him. Obviously, he's a cheater, and I'm never in favor of him for the most part. But if he, I hate to see what they doing to him, or they did to him. But guess what? He's the guy that failed the test versus Latif Coyote. Even if you want to clear him of the test with Deontay Wilder, he still failed the test with Latif Coyote. He still failed the test. But that Luis Ortiz that fought Deontay Wilder, that Luis Ortiz who fought Rajan, whatever, Rashkovac, he beats Oleksandr Usyk. He beats Usyk. He punches too hard for Usyk. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. And he may be quicker than Usyk, or at least hand speed wise, it might be comparable to Usyk. Usyk not beating that guy. Y'all dudes don't understand that. That's another guy that's gonna outweigh him by 20 pounds come fight night. That's another guy that's going to outweigh him by 20 pounds. A guy that really can punch. A guy that can counterpunch. A guy that can figure him out. That's a tough fight. Joseph Parker will be a tough fight for him. That's another tough fight. Y'all think he going to be able to fight that style at cruiserweight? He going to have to make adjustments, man. Adjustments. You talk about bigger guys, taller guys, longer guys. And if he struggled with what Tony Bellew was doing last night, and I think part of the struggle with Tony Bellew was the fact Bellew switched the style up and played rope-a-dope, he wasn't expecting that. But, he ain't getting run through heavyweight like that. Not right now. He got to take time off. I mean, not time off. He got to take time to build his strength up, come with a style. But his advantage is he has the best footwork in heavyweight division as soon as he stepped foot. I think Fury Fury and Tyson Fury are right up there with him with the best fluid footwork. Fury don't have no aggression, but Tyson Fury, I think that's the absolute. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder are the absolute worst matchups for him at this division. Absolute worst.
My apologies, bro.
Oh, you good. I think Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder are the absolute two worst styles for Oleksandr Usyk at heavyweight. Just period. That's terrible. You got a 6'9" and a 6'7" heavyweight that can move. Triple H 1200, what's going on, family? The most he can carry is 220 heavyweight. No way he is as durable as Holyfield. Yeah, Holyfield it was rumors about Holyfield because how durable he was. I won't feed into that BS. But Holyfield was very, very durable, and Holyfield had a style that carried well to heavyweight. Mike James, 616. He had a good style, man. He had an excellent chin, excellent body work. And also, he had his trouble with long-rangey heavyweights like Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, he's paying for that durability now. If you see him in interviews, that on his speech, that's going to get worse. Him fighting until he's 50, he's going to pay for that. So and that durability, it looked good on the front end, but on the back end, he's gonna pay.
Just like Ali.
Yep. Shit. Durability is overrated. I want to keep my faculties when I get older.
Yeah, but Holyfield was a dog.
Yeah.
People forget he had like 2 or 3 fights at like heavyweight too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but at cruiserweight, that dude's an all-time great, and that's what I was saying yesterday on my live stream. Look, Vander Holyfield is an all-time Hall of Fame cruiserweight, but if he had stayed at cruiserweight, you would have never known who he was.
Nope.
And that's just real talk. Cruiserweight is a hole in the wall division. It's the wishing well. Anybody that can list the 10 greatest cruiserweights in history are hardcore boxing fans. They're not casual. Casual fan is not going to know
Them historians.
Right. Exactly.
Them
Yeah,
historians.
you want to even be hardcore boxing fans, you got to go to the next step. And it's just real talk because you're not cruiserweight is not a marquee division. Shit, it's honestly, you know more people at 122 to the 126 than you do cruiserweight. It's just real talk, you know. And anybody trying to elevate Oleksandr Usyk to this status of Evander Holyfield, you haven't watched a damn Evander Holyfield fight at cruiserweight. You're out of your mind. Evander Holyfield had competition at cruiserweight. That wasn't a walk in the park. You know, Michael Spinks was a beast at light heavyweight. Okay, I'm trying to think of another cruiserweight. Hell, let's think of James Toney and Vasily Jirov at cruiserweight. Okay, they would have gave Usyk the business at cruiserweight. I don't know where people get these things from, man. Listen. Today's guy is who's in front of your face right now. Comparing people to people with higher skill level because boxers had higher sets of skill level back in the day than they do now.
And one of the reasons that is too because these dudes ain't active no more, and then also they're not fighting the best neither.
Yeah,
so when you fight the best, when you fight the best, that elevates your skill level not only in attributes, but it elevates your skill level in the fans' eyes as well too. A lot of them dudes was fighting cat pillars back to back.
And I keep warning people, look, y'all keep propping up these Eastern European fighters and they keep letting you down. Okay. And listen, I don't have any shade on Eastern European fighters. I think they're good, but they're a lot like Cuban fighters. When you put them in the big show, they throw duds. Okay. You put this guy on a big spotlight with somebody that's big spotlight, most likely history says he's going to throw a shit box, in that ring. And what I saw last night was a guy who's been hyped as Lomachenko cruiserweight, and he had problems with a raccoon fighter. And what I mean is Tony Bellew has never beat anybody with a belt. He dug in the trash for his belts over the course of his career. He's a vacancy fighter titleist. Okay, if you got a vacant title, Tony Bellew's right around that damn trash to pick it up. And that's just real talk. And for Tony Bellew to have the type of showing that he did against Oleksandr Usyk, who's supposed to have the superior skill set that he did, man, you need to reel back any expectations that you have on this guy. I see another Eastern European potential dud. And that's just real talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna say dud at heavyweight. I think he really good cruiserweight and heavyweight, but that's how Americans think about heavyweight. Why you ain't in cruiserweight?
Right. And people got to understand why cruiserweight came along. Cruiserweight came along because fucking heavyweight started getting big. Joe Louis was a heavyweight. He was 190 pounds. Okay. He couldn't have fought at heavyweight today.
Especially Big Baby Miller winning 317. Golly.
Right. Joe Louis punched like a mule. Okay.
So did Rocky Marciano.
But they wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, no, and both was around 190. You got Klitschko's walking around at 245, 250. Ortiz 240. And people forget Mike Tyson was 220 at his peak, at his prime.
Yeah. But Rocky Marciano, I mean, even him at 185 is dubious because he was fighting his best named fights came against guys that were over 40. And when he was 36-0 is when he started fighting people, that had names on the table. And all of these guys, I think Joe Louis was the only guy younger than 40. I think he was 37 and probably had 2,000 rounds. Joe was war worn. So, hold on one second. The thing is, man, when you compare fighters, you got to compare resumes. You got to compare quality of opposition. People just go, oh, this guy looked like this and he can do this and he can do that. That's not the case. Hey, son, chill out, son. It's Sunday, man. He in there. Okay. But people people get too high on certain fighters. My boy Corey Lee, he lives and breathes by Usyk, but I'm like, dude, man, you're saying Usyk's gonna dominate at heavyweight. How? How? You can't pity pat at heavyweight. He doesn't have the arm length to measure a fighter at heavyweight. You know, you can't throw pity pat shots because the retort's gonna be a bitch. You know, at the end of the day,
he can't do that. That where he sides him up and when he extend his arm, he sides him up. He can't do that shit at heavyweight.
No, he won't have the option. Plus, you know, you think he's not evasive. Okay, Tony Bellew showed that this guy, he's a sucker for a right hand, especially to the body. He was getting hit flush to the body with a straight right
and a left hand. But you know, he was going against the orthodox fighter. There's a lot of orthodox fighters up there. Tyson Fury and Wilder be the absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
Worst fucking case scenario, man. You know, Tyson Fury and Wilder. They too long, they too tall. I mean, Joseph Parker will be a battle for Usyk as well, too. He's just too nice.
Yeah.
Joseph Parker is just too fucking nice, man. He got all the skills. He don't have no aggression.
I had a lot of people on the panel yesterday picking Joseph Parker because their argument was that Joseph Parker, once he sees an opening or he sees you hurt, he's more likely to pounce on you. And apparently in the fights that he had, and again, these are not my arguments, you know, he hadn't had that opportunity. So honestly, had Dillian White hurt in that fight,
at the end, yeah. If he'd have stepped it up earlier, he would have got that motherfucker up out of there, but he didn't.
Now Low Place hashtag MLPS says, I agree, Usyk is going to beat both of the current champs at heavyweight if they fight. How do you figure, bro? I mean, have you ever boxed, bro? Have you ever been in the ring? I mean, believe me, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm asking you a legitimate question. Do you understand the science behind boxing? I mean, listen, Usyk is okay. He's an okay cruiserweight. I can't give a guy that has under 20 fights. He's an all-time great. Okay, he's not Hall of Fame. I mean, he's good. Okay, he shows some things, but he has a lot of holes. Anybody with some halfway decent talent at light heavyweight that moves up to cruiserweight could give Usyk issues. Okay, but again, light heavyweights become a division I don't know as much about anymore because they really don't. Again, I keep talking about marquee divisions. You know, cruiserweight is where you go to retire, or where you go when you never make it to heavyweight. You know, it's just I'm just being real. Think of as long as you've been alive, and your entire life has a cruiserweight division. Has the cruiserweight division ever been marquee? Has anyone? Oh my God, that cruiserweight division is just off the chain. You know, real talk. Hashman Boxer says this ninja's hating facts.
This nigga hating facts. Hating.
Bro, hating. Listen, again, hating. Bro, you don't obviously. Oh boy, sometimes, man. Listen, y'all should take a page and order. I remember I boxed 10 years as an amateur, okay, as a kid. When I stopped boxing as an amateur, because I never did it full blast, I played other sports because I had talent. Okay. After I got through boxing, after I got out of high school, I bought this documentary series. It had 2,500 and something fights on it, between 10 or 15 CDs. I've seen a lot of fights, bro. Okay. I've seen a lot of fights. I don't know how many hours it is, but over 2,500 fights. I think it was 30 CDs full of fights. Okay. Listen, I'm not just talking about this thing. Okay. Just because you watch it on TV doesn't mean you've been in a ring or you've seen it in person to understand it. Listen, looking at it on TV, I saw a lot of problems Usyk has. Usyk was missing shots from Tony Bellew, bro. You have to understand the level of boxer Tony Bellew is to get a good idea why my assessment of Usyk is the way it is. Tony Bellew's a get hit man. Not a hitman, a get hit man. Okay, go watch the David Haye fight. Go watch every fight that he's been in. What's the fight he got knocked out in, CJ? Was it Adonis Stevenson that knocked him out?
Come on, Tony Bellew?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got knocked. He knocked out. Yeah, he got knocked out by Stevenson.
Okay. I mean, this is the thing. If you got some intelligence about you and some discernment in your boxing, you'll take a fight frame by frame. Hey, you can get a link, homie. Low place. Send them a link, bro. Let's see what you're talking about. Send them a link. Because I'm all ready for challenges.
All right, here you go.
You got a link, bro. I got one rule: don't disrespect me. Hey, Dr. Blitz said he want a link too. CJ, you done called on the dogs, dog. But man, you got to look at this fight game. Listen, these guys don't fight as frequently. Hello?
My mic working?
Yep.
All right, let me see if I can turn you up. Can't hear you.
All right.
Send your email, Dr. Blick. Put your email in the chat, and I'll delete it once I got it.
I think the thing you missing with Usyk is and Bellew. Bellew the same way. Bellew can dictate the way a fight is going to be fought. He did it with Adonis Stevenson. Adonis is just a better front foot fighter than Usyk is. He can get on the back foot and go around the ring, make you chase him up. He can fight you shoulder to shoulder. He can turn it into a war. I wouldn't call Bellew a bum bashing at all. Bellew, he's only lost to fighters that are fucking great fighters and beat most people they fight any day of the week. He's lost to a fighter of the year. He's lost to an undisputed titleist, and he's lost, excuse me, and he's knocked out a guy twice that was a unified champion and a lineal champion in a division where he was the underdog. He's 2-2 in fights versus former or current lineal champions. He's no slouch. The way that he was supposed to win this fight, he had two ways. He had turned it into a war, which he didn't do. But he still made Usyk get on the front foot where Usyk is vulnerable. I don't think Joshua can do that. And if Wilder makes him get on the front foot, I don't think Wilder is slippery as Bellew. Bellew was getting down. He was turning Usyk. He was spinning him out. He was doing the Floyd Mayweather. He was basically bending at the waist and turning. Wilder's not going to do that with an Usyk. He's not that coordinated as a Bellew. Bellew ain't the most coordinated man in the world, but I think he has more on Wilder. I think Usyk can make all the heavyweights come to him, and what he can then do: step in, move out, get one off, get two off, pot shot him, move out. If the knockout comes, eventually it might. But I say this: Spilka is the type of guy.
Ask you a question. So you think he gonna do that for 12 rounds? I'm just gonna give you 12. Versus who? Joe Joyce don't. He's an amateur. David Haye is old. I mean, he's an old fighter, bro. So at the end of the day, he's not gonna do that. You can say what you want to say about Wilder. It don't matter if you coordinate it or not. His movement works for him. It works for him. He has a significant reach advantage. And you think Usyk that get touched up a lot. British hit Usyk a lot. Michael Hunter touched up Usyk a lot.
How did he hit him?
He hit him flush with right hand.
Look at the context of the fight, though. Usyk was doing what? Coming forward in the Hunter fight and the Bradish fight. I told you, he
gonna have to come to the heavyweight. He gonna have to come to the heavyweights. You think Tyson Fury is not gonna make Usyk come to him?
And Tyson Fury can't. Tyson Fury will not knock Usyk out. Tyson Fury. The problem with Tyson Fury, he can do all he wants with the heavyweights. He's a little longer and quicker than them. But Usyk is much faster than heavyweights on the front. He's not the best, but I think he can get under Tyson Fury. I think he can easily beat Tyson Fury. Speed him up and punch upward.
It's not that easy. His feints gonna keep you at business, and he controls distance. That's what you forgetting. Usyk will not control distance for 12 rounds versus any heavyweight. Any of those heavyweights with that's taller, he won't He
A
won't.
slip and a cut distance and make that heavyweight that's out trying to outbox speed up, unlike Klitschko did. Usyk
Okay.
can do that much better. He got a much higher output. He got. I think I've said it. Fury is his toughest fight because it'll
Can,
be on the front foot. But I believe only thing Joshua and Wilder can do, and this is a way to win the fight. The only thing they can do is knock him out, and they need his mistake to do that, or they need him to gas out. Now, is that possible? Yes, but is it? I've seen him move for 12 complete rounds and throw 800 punches and clinch less than 5 times. That is world class stamina. That may be better than Floyd Mayweather type stamina. That's just what it is.
okay, can I speak now? I didn't interrupt on purpose. I wanted you to speak. And as I review in my head what you're saying, I'm not even going to touch on David Hay. I'm not going to touch on anybody like that because I could break that up. At the end of the day, we're just going to talk about ability. And that's what I was commenting on. The ability of Usyk, it looks good coming forward. Okay. The thing is, Usyk was the larger man in that fight yesterday. Usyk should have been the one dominating. He wasn't. I honestly say 7 rounds. I give 7 rounds. I gave 7 rounds to Bellew yesterday. I called the fight. Okay. Usyk missed a lot. Tony Bellew got tired because you can say Tony Bellew weight drained down to cruiserweight because he hadn't fought at cruiserweight in a while. I think he fought heavyweight at his last fight. I don't really follow Tony too much. I'm no Tony Bellew fan, but I had to give Tony Bellew credit yesterday. For an excellent fight plan. That was something that was outside his purview, something I'd never seen Tony Bellew do. Okay. Usyk has many holes in his game that he can't afford to have at heavyweight if he were to move to heavyweight. Number one, he has a 78-inch reach, which means he has to go closer quarter with those bigger guys. Okay. Those bigger guys having longer, being taller, having a longer reach means that he's taking a lot more risk for a guy that gets punched a lot. The only heavyweight I've ever seen Usyk fight was Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is not a very experienced guy at the professional level, and it shows. He's not very skilled. Okay. Plus, he's 34. That's the best he ever looked at. He couldn't hurt Joe Joyce. Listen, Joe Joyce is 6'4", 6'5", I believe.
6'6".
Yeah, something like that. Just because you're big and strong, I don't even know if he's strong. Usyk looked good against a guy that, comparatively speaking, is a 3 on the skill level, 2 or 3 on the skill level. All right. Deontay Wilder is a freakish athlete. I don't think it took me a long time to get on the Deontay Wilder train. Okay, it took about 30 fights. But after about 30 fights, I was sold on it. The guy just knocks people out. Sometimes skill is irrelevant in that sense. Someone like Oleksandr Usyk, who's trying to pity pat, he may win rounds if he can touch Wilder. He wasn't able to touch not Joe Joyce, but Tony Bellew yesterday. He's throwing a lot of pity pat jabs, and even when he was in jabbing range and he was throwing hooks, he was missing Tony Bellew. If he does that against a solid heavyweight, he gets knocked out because they're gonna punch through his guard. Number one, okay, he won't be able to run the entire fight. He's susceptible to right hands, bro. And guess who has the best right hand in the game at heavyweight? Wilder. Luis Ortiz, great left hand, hurts Usyk with his straight right, his jab. Dude, I'm telling you, son. It's a different animal at heavyweight. He's good. Okay. He's good at cruiserweight. He's not exceptional. Okay. And what I saw yesterday, listen, I was hoping to see dominance from Oleksandr Usyk. Honestly, I think the guy's talented, but all it did was lend to the fact that he's hyped. He's overhyped. Period. Everything that you spout out, that's technically for Tony Bellew. Oh, he beat David Hay. Dude, David Hay was years removed from his best, and even at David Hay's best, he ducked both Klitschko's at his best. And if I go technical, one Klitschko in his prime got knocked out 3 times by slobs. Okay, so Vitaly Klitschko in his first 40. I haven't interrupted anybody.
Hold on. I just want to tell you, he did fight Vladimir Klitschko. He did fight Vlad.
Yeah, after the fact, after a whole bunch of rigmarole. You know, I might be a little bit older, so I remember the things. I remember the day to day on that. So at the end of the day, between the two Klitschkos in their first 40 fights, I think Vitaly was 38-2. Vladimir was 37-3. Out of those fights, the resume, the opposition, Deontay Wilder actually has the better opposition by resume.
And who? Then who?
Then the two guys I just mentioned. Why don't you look it up?
Say the names again. I lost you. Say the names again.
Both Klitschko brothers. If you compare 40 fights in, Deontay Wilder has a better resume. It's real talk.
I don't know about that, dog.
I know you don't know about it. That's why you got to research it.
Nah, I know their resume, and I'm telling you, I'm not.
Tell me the resume. Tell me the resume, bro.
I wouldn't give you the Povetkin for Klitschko.
Tell me the resume.
If we're gonna talk about a prime Tyson Fury for Klitschko, you're gonna talk about a prime.
I didn't say anything about Tyson Fury, bro. I didn't say anything about Tyson Fury. I said Klitschko's. I compared
they're on his resume. They're on Vladimir's resume.
Bro, listen. No spin, homie. No spin. I gave you your opportunity. That's why I didn't speak.
You're saying 45. Are you saying 45? Klitschko in his entire resume.
You're trying to talk through me. Ain't gonna happen. I'm
asking you a question.
No, I asked you a question. Okay.
And I'm trying to confirm your question. That's all I'm doing. You're saying Deontay Wilder in 40 fights compared to Klitschko in 40 fights.
Both Klitschko's, he has a better resume.
Okay, you may have that. You may have that.
Now, Tyson Fury has 27 fights, correct?
Tyson Fury, I don't know.
27-0, right? He's 27-0. He has 18 knockouts, I think. All right. Did he knock out Vladimir Klitschko? No, he didn't need to. He outscored Vladimir Klitschko. Was Vladimir Klitschko the best fighter on his resume thus far? Yes. Was it the best Vladimir Klitschko ever? No. He's 39. He's been reigning a long time in the weakest heavyweight division ever.
Hello?
I mean, go ahead. Who's that? Oh, it's Dr.
Yo, it's me.
What's up, bro?
Yo, I gotta say that Tony Bellew has been fortunate, and he even said this about himself. He's an overachiever. Everything he's done in his career, he kind of overachieved. He even said that he couldn't beat a prime David Haye. So when you're hearing someone like that say that they couldn't beat a prime David Haye, they're not really meant to beat someone like a Usyk with padded up pedigree coming through the ranks. So Tony Bellew did what he could within his limitations, but it gets to a certain point with someone like Tony Bellew that he was gonna tire, especially with he was gonna fight on the back foot, and the fact that Usyk was applying all that pressure. And Tony Bellew never really struck me as a guy that was good to fight off the ropes or good enough to fight off the ropes to win that fight, especially with the fact that he was trying to pop shot and that stuff. He did find success early in the fight, but the inevitable happened. That stamina of Usyk came up and caught with him, and Tony Bellew never really changed any look, even though he has lost to Adonis Stevenson and what's it, Cleverly he lost to.
Yeah,
and he avenged it. Yeah, he avenged that loss. He has in my opinion, if he was to survive 12 rounds, he had to fight him on the front foot and push Usyk backwards, because I don't think Usyk's back foot game is that good. It's just that Tony Bellew allowed Usyk to change up, take his time, and eventually get it to him, because he did change the trajectory of his punches.
I think you said Usyk. You said Usyk back foot game ain't good. Is that what you said?
No, I said I don't think it's as good as what people think it is.
No, I mean, this is the thing.
Usyk is more of a front-footed fighter. He likes to come forward.
Usyk needs true competition, bro.
He just threw 800 punches on the back foot. He just threw 800, 900 punches with 4 clinches.
Against who?
4 to 5 clinches. You cannot believe what you just said if you look at those numbers throughout the history.
I agree. Hold on. I agree. He's not that good on the back foot, bro. And most Eastern Europeans not that good on the back foot. Lomachenko, everybody think Lomachenko good on the back foot, but he really not. When they go backwards,
I don't.
They use coordination. But Usyk But like I say, it's just the competition level. When he step up, I guess we'll really much see, what he bringing to the table. But it's gonna be interesting versus Joe Joyce. He ain't looked that bad on the back foot, I will say, and that's Joe Joyce. In the World Series of boxing, he bounced on his toes and he pasted Joe Joyce. And Joe Joyce ain't the most experienced and seasoned professional fighter, but he's done it before. But to do it versus heavyweight fighters that bring something different, like Fury. Like Fury just control distance so crazy, man. Like, his feints to keep you at bay. He gets great leverage on his punches. Wilder, he like
talking about volume.
I think what people are missing here is the fact that a career. Listen, Tony Bellew is an okay fighter. The fact that an okay fighter was able to run Usyk that long takes away from Usyk. And that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to convey here.
I agree with you. I agree on that, man. Because here's the thing, man.
He's not good on the front foot. Every fight he struggled in has been on the front foot. I don't know what this guy's coming on here saying. If you're gonna look at his career and say that his best fights, his best performances was on the front foot, I'm asking you to pick the one. I'm asking you to pick the one where he didn't struggle. Michael Hunter, front foot, he struggled. Okay, Brady's front foot, he struggled. Bro. If he would have got on the front foot versus Gassiev, he would have got knocked out. But on the back foot, he probably got hit 15 fucking times. And he clinched 4 times during the fight. I'm guessing.
So Gassiev,
but we saw no clinches. We saw fucking Muhammad Ali damn near performance.
Had you heard of Gassiev?
And you're saying he's not good on the back foot?
Had you heard of Gassiev before they fought?
Yes, I've seen Gassiev knock out Schindler.
The problem with Gassiev, you can't really use Gassiev.
The Thomas guy, Isaiah Thomas from Detroit. I've seen Gassiev plenty of times.
Yeah, Gassiev is a typical Abel Sanchez fighter, man.
Doesn't like don't blame Abel Sanchez because he did the same thing to Marco Huck. He did the same thing to Christoph Milwaukee.
Yo. I'm not saying I'm blaming Abel Sanchez. I'm just saying he's a typical Abel Sanchez fighter. One-dimensional, try and come forward fighter, but all he did, he came forward with the earmuffs on and absorbed all the punishment that Usyk was giving it. My thing is, if we're going on volume punches and saying that he's so credible on volume punches, then Big Baby Miller is one of the best heavyweights out there because look how many punches that guy throws.
Can I ask you something? Who for you today? Who's your best back foot boxer? Just a name.
Best back foot boxer, man. Wait, currently boxing.
Just a name. I'm expecting you to go to a certain place too. I'm expecting a certain name. But I'm gonna let you put it out there. Who is it for you?
Well, my favorite back foot fighter. I don't really have one, to be honest. Like,
you wouldn't go Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford, Erislandy Lara.
All right. Let me do the Terrence Crawford one. Terrence Crawford fought John Molina, who was being aggressive. You go watch the fight, and you go tell me how many times you see Terrence Crawford hit the ropes, had to put his arms all over Molina's neck, have to tie him up because he's gotten caught. Whereas Usyk does not get caught. He puts you in a position. He throws way more. I believe he's a way better back foot boxer than Billy Joe. Terrence Crawford, he's the king of it right now. If you say who's the Muhammad Ali of that shit right now, it's him. It's him.
I disagree.
Just watch the footage.
I think he's best at middle range, just as Lomachenko. I think he's best. Crawford is a multi-dimensional fighter. I'm not saying he's the best back-footed fighter, but I mean, there's several ones out there. Billy Joe Saunders, I don't know how great he is on the back foot, with that oxyframe in his system, because that motherfucker didn't stop versus David Lemieux. That motherfucker didn't even, take one deep breath. But
can I answer somebody in the chat? Actually, 2 people. Chinadu Amadi says, who is the moron who just said Wilder has a better resume than Vlad at 40 fights? I'm the moron. Said this. Somebody named Chinadu Amadi. I'm the moron that actually has a channel that people listen to because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. I also probably, as my co-host, I probably have the most competent historian in boxing as my co-host is Kurt Sugar. Well, I know what I'm talking about, and I can go tit for tat with Kurt on the history of boxing. I know the damn sport, homie. I'm sorry.
Hey, bro, most people don't know the first 40 fights of Vladimir Klitschko, though.
Exactly.
He's the Corey Sanders.
They don't.
People don't know that. People thinking like he might have had 40 fights when he fought Tyson Fury, 40 fights and all that. He has over 50. He has
70 fights.
Well, yeah, 7 because of the knockouts. Yeah.
So people need to keep in mind the level of competition that was around back then. There wasn't really that amazing heavyweights to fight.
You know, I haven't been in a boxing ring in maybe 22, 23 years. Hey, Chinny, I'll fly you to Texas. I can show you how much of a moron I am in the ring, bro. Fat oranges. I ain't no casual, homie. You come on my channel and that's hold on, that's cool. You come on my channel, you're not disrespectful or anything, but homie, I'm not a casual, bro. I stepped away from boxing in years and forgot more shit than you probably know. You know, I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, because I'm not. I'm not at Curtis Anderson's level. I'm not at Lawrence Williams' level. They breathe and eat it. You know, it's something that I love to see. It's a sport that I grew up in. You know, I have boxers in my family. I know the sport. I know the science of the sport. But you know, if you're gonna put me on Jeopardy about the sport, I'm probably not gonna win. But I do know what I'm talking about. So I always like to address the people that had the balls to call somebody a moron because they're a keyboard Rambo. But you need to step up to the plate and you need to bring the facts. You need to understand what I see. And what I see is a guy that has holes in his game. That's simply what I'm saying. The gentleman that came on board, I appreciate him coming on board and stating his fact. I respect that man for that. You know, he didn't disrespect me. He just felt he doesn't agree with my assessment. But he did agree. He did, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard you right, you did agree the first 40 fights between the Klitschko's and Wilder with what I was saying, correct or incorrect?
From what I know of, if I look at the list, I probably would favor Wilder. I just don't know where they stop at 40 and where they don't. I mean, I ain't kept up with it like that.
Well, I'm just talking about their first 40 fights straight, because Wilder's at 40 fights right now. Okay, so if you compare it all the way through, the resume, the level of competition, and people forget Wilder was brought up slow because the guy started fighting at 20. You know, he started fighting. He started fighting. He was loading UPS trucks. Okay, and so the guy was fighting because he needed to eat. He needed to take care of his kid. Okay, the best reason you can have for getting into the sport of boxing. The Klitschko's came up boxing in the Russian program. Okay, their entire lives. And if you know how the Soviet Union ran, it kind of runs like the Chinese program does. They pick kids who are athletically gifted or who they think are athletically gifted, and they put them in sports programs, and they basically live in government institutions learning their sport. That's how the Klitschko's came up. It wasn't any parental guidance or anything. They were raised to be robots. Okay.
Keep in mind, like when people take into account the best fight that Klitschko's had, you gotta keep in mind like who's the best win that Klitschko's had, because that heavyweight division when the Klitschko was dominating wasn't really that strong. Like we can't say that division was strong. It really wasn't that strong, man.
It was the weakest heavyweight division had ever been. Basically, I peeked in on the heavyweight division for 15 years because it was trash. After Lewis Klitschko, that was it. After Lewis retired, and remember, Lewis was losing that fight till he cut that dude open. And if you watch the fight and you look at Vitaly Klitschko's face, you could have put your fingers in his flesh. How badly his face was torn up.
Oh yeah, I remember, man.
Okay, so at the end of the day, is Vitaly Klitschko fought an old, fat, unmotivated Lennox Lewis, and Lennox Lewis still stopped that fight. Okay, I remember the day when the days they were saying, man, Lennox not even training for this fight. This was literally the Great White Height kind of turned wrong because Vitaly came to fight, but at the end of the day, Lennox Lewis established that jab, then that right hand, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
And so
keep in mind. I reckon, based on Vladimir's record, I feel like Wilder and Joshua probably beat most of the people on that record, man. The Samuel Peterses, the freaking Derek Chisora when he was younger. Obviously, Joshua beat Povetkin, Pulev. Because those names I'm naming, those are the best names on his resume, the standout ones.
But hey, how's it going? I just wanted to say, How's it? Good morning to you guys. Good for the sports and World Breaker. Low plays. What's up, man? What's up, Dr. Blitt? But I was just saying, I just looked this up. I'm not gonna be that person to be like, I know these guys at the back of my hand. I just looked it up. In the first 45, Vitaly had better fights because he beat Samuel Peter, he fought Chris Bird, and he fought Corey Sanders.
I don't really rate Samuel Peters that highly, man.
You can make an argument.
But at the end of the day, he struggled against Peters, but at the end of the day,
he got dropped multiple times.
Hey, what is Sam Peters going to do other than beat up James Toney? You know what I'm saying? What did Ross Purity do? What did Corey Sanders do? Chris Bird didn't belong at heavyweight, in my opinion, and I got much respect for Chris Bird. But he didn't belong at heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? And I think he only beat Vitaly because Vitaly had an arm injury, right?
Made him quit.
Yeah. So
See, this is
I would agree that Vitaly would have a better one then because everybody on Wilder's resume it basically starts at the Stavern joint and they not doing anything now or probably didn't do anything prior.
That's what I was saying. I didn't jump firmly on the Wilder till about fight 30 or 31 because that's the way I felt. Now this is before I had a channel, so but. I just couldn't bring myself as a boxing purist to Wilder very easily. So this is not somebody who's I'm not a fanboy of anybody. There's just not anybody out there like, oh my God. This is the thing. When you box rec things, you gotta watch those things. You got to watch those fights because you can say Canelo Alvarez is he's the lineal middleweight champion, but when you look at Canelo, he's only fought one middleweight. Truly, that's Triple G, a guy that's an easy fight.
You can say the same thing about Tony Bellew. People saying Tony Bellew fought up at heavyweight. He fought another cruiserweight, pretty much in my eyes. David Hayes is really a cruiserweight.
Right. I mean, you can box rec it all day. Then cross-reference the box rec with their records. That's where you develop the quality of opposition. Okay, quality of opposition is very important. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Hey, you're not giving Hayes credit. He won a world title at heavyweight. So
against applauding Bellew, man. I didn't rate Bellew.
You can say what you want. That's a big ass dude. He's in that fight. And that's the same thing we're saying about Usyk. You're saying he could fight somebody at that level and get beat, and it's not happening.
He had the punching power of an ant.
David Hay won a title in his first fight I think it was second fight at the weight. And Usyk should be looking at. I think Usyk should fight Joshua right away. I think he should go for. He hotter than ever in the UK, and I think he should go for that shit right away. Joshua's slow.
Xavier said, "Hey." Xavier
what's
said,
the worst
hey,
that can happen? You get a paycheck and get beat.
No, if he gets hit, in my opinion, I would like to see him have I can't remember whose channel said this. I would like to see him build himself up rather than see him fight Joshua straight away because I feel like if he builds himself up, he can beat Joshua. Joshua's foot movement is terrible.
Come to the fights. What he gonna do? Fight on Joshua undercards? Because ain't nobody gonna come to the UK for him by himself.
He doesn't have to. He can just fight like some match.
No, you trying to keep the fight big. You trying to keep him big in the UK. He's bigger than ever in the UK. He just knocked out Sam Sullivan.
I'm telling you, I live in the UK. Yeah, he could fight a Dylan White or someone like that. People will watch him fight Dylan White.
Why would he do that shit? Dylan White, a roughhouse. Hold on. This is a fact right here. Who had the harder fight versus Joshua Dylan White? Which one was the harder fight for Parker? Which one was rougher on his body?
It was Dylan White, but still.
Dylan White. Exactly. So why the hell would you go fight a Dylan White? Why would you do that?
That's what he got to get prepared for. His heavyweight division.
No,
man.
You don't. That ain't preparation at heavyweight. That is you getting tired out and getting beat on.
Bro, it's a heavyweight. Are we going to pretend that Dylan White is the only heavyweight that does that?
Bro,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna
Or
sit
you can
up here and
fight,
tell
or you
you,
can
I'm
fight
gonna
Big
tell
Baby or
you, I
something like
wouldn't
that.
fight Dillian White unless I was mandated to,
It's like
unless he gave me a check.
it's like
He
it's
will
like
be.
Mikey.
But
It's
the
like
thing
Mikey.
is, the thing.
It's like Mikey Garcia moving up to 147. There's a big reason why I say he Errol Spence beats him because he's not ready for the rough house tactic.
Mikey Garcia
There's
ain't got
certain
shit on
fighters.
Usyk.
Overall, this is the problem with boxing. The fact that this, and brother, I don't know your name, so that's don't take offense to it. That you can say that David Haye won a title. This is the problem we have with bad fights. This is the problem we have with low grade fights because anybody can say that they're a champion. Anybody can say that, hey, I beat this guy and I became a champion. Valuev is not credible. I don't give a damn what anybody says. He had a belt, and somebody said. Xavier said it was a regular title that Hay had won. I don't know that for certain.
To be fair, back then the super one wasn't really around, so that was number one belt.
Right. At the end of the day, Valuev, if you saw the guy fight, he was trash. He's a trash.
He was trash. He was very trash.
Okay, he was.
He was the underdog in the fight. Just remember that he's the underdog in the fight.
Bro. Real talk. This is why I'm an advocate of the best fighting the best constantly, so that these type of arguments don't come to pass. Because anybody can point to anybody. Oh man, he fought Shushan Joe, who used to clean the stables behind the horse thing. Okay, because they can point to that guy. Oh, that guy was a champion when he was getting something. That's why I call Tony Bellew Tony Titty or Raccoon Tony, because he always he fought for vacancies. He's never beat a.
Well, that's the same thing. That's most people do.
Oh, yeah.
Ndango fought guys who won vacant titles, so Ndango is not credible.
You got to keep in mind. You got to keep in mind something about Dillian White. Dillian White only generates power when he has time to really set himself. Dillian White is the same guy that won the distance with Robert Helenius.
And you keep believing that Dillian White ain't better from that fight if you want to, because that Dillian White.
I'm not saying he isn't.
Eddie Hearn ain't retarded, dog. Eddie Hearn ain't retarded.
I'm not saying he isn't
in the ring with him, dog.
I'm not saying he isn't. I'm saying we can't sit here. I'm saying we can't sit here.
If AJ is the top dog for Usyk, then what is
top dogs don't got shit to do with Styles. Styles make fights, not top dog or little dog. Styles make fights.
What is Dillian White to Usyk though, in your opinion?
A fucking tough ass fight that comes with no belt. Beat you. He's one of the guys that will beat you down and make you bad. He will beat you down or make you bad off.
That's the point. That's what he has to do at heavyweight. If
you're not going to get used to it. You're going to be bad off and worse for wear. Heavyweights can't just take punishment and say, okay, I got better in that fight. No, he 34 years old.
Yo, I don't think you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that there's a lot of things that he could take advantage of with Dillian White. Dillian White is sloppy when people move. He's very sloppy when people move.
Man, Dillian White a banger.
He's the type of guy that needs people to stand still so he can set himself. He don't really cut off the ring well.
That's what you think.
And he's more. I'm not saying Dillian White doesn't beat him or eventually catch him. I'm just saying there's stuff there that he can take advantage of.
In an era where heavyweights are technically hold up. In an era where heavyweights are technically deficient comparably, Dillian White is probably the worst technician of the top 10.
He got the best timing of the top 5 more than like he counted everything.
I wouldn't say he's the worst.
He counted everything.
I wouldn't say he's the worst.
Everything. He counted everything with 2 and 3s. He catch and shoot and counter everything. He is violent in the ring. That's why you're not giving him credit, because you're looking at it as violent, but in actuality, he's thinking about what he's doing and he's being real fucking violent with it. It may look sloppy to you, but I see him countering on the front foot. That is not good for Usyk. That nigga physical.
The worst in the top 10 is probably Adam Funaki fundamentally.
I feel like a big baby fight is worse, or could be worse potentially.
Yeah, it would be. He's 300 pounds, but I'm saying that's
300 plus pounds, bro. The guy that punches probably as much as Usyk is gonna punch at heavyweight.
I think Baby's stamina could let him down, man. Man, moving all around.
Big baby has good stamina.
Can let him down. He had to fight no pot shotter that can move like Usyk. I think Dillian White would be way more aggressive and faster in his aggression. It could be.
Remember, he got hurt twice by Gerald Washington. and Jared Washington was moving back the whole time. Of course, I'm not comparing him to Usyk, but he did get tired.
I got a title. Till you my mandatory. I look, man. If I beat Joshua, if I go beat Joshua, you can't tell me to do shit, right? I can do it.
You said
I'm undisputed in one division, and I'm unified in the next. I'm gonna do it the fuck
CJ,
I want.
what you got to say to this, bro?
That's what it is. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I asked CJ a question, bro. CJ, what you got to say to this? I can CJ in the bathroom.
Nah, but there's one thing I got to say though. I do see where you're coming from with Dylan White. I'll continue, CJ.
No, my bad. I was feeding my dog. Y'all go ahead.
I just on this shit, bro.
No, I was just saying real quick. Then CJ can say what he's gonna say. I was just saying that Dylan White is like number 1 or number 2 in most of these governing bodies. He's gonna have to fight Dylan White anyways, regardless. Probably in his second fight if he goes straight to the Joshua fight. And let's say because Joshua's most likely to fight Dylan White next. So if Joshua loses to Dylan White, he's gonna have to fight Dylan White anyways.
For a title. You just putting him in there for nothing. You're basically telling him, hey, no title, fight tough ass Dillian White.
But he still would be mandated to fight him anyway. It wouldn't matter.
So what? But the title be on the line, and for all you know, Dillian White could lose down the road and not be the mandatory no more. If I'm
Usyk, we don't know if Usyk is just gonna go ahead and just
if I'm Usyk, I'm going to my check. Do you hear me? My paycheck.
No, but we don't know if Usyk is just going to cash in that WBO belt, bro. We don't know if he's going to do that straight away.
He ain't got to give shit away. If he go fight Joshua, he ain't got shit but a
talent. Keep in mind, they'll make Usyk Dylan White pay-per-view in the UK.
Also, the super WBO champion thing, for Usyk don't kick in until 2020. So he won't be the mandatory until 2020. I think he should. I think he should move up. Test the waters out.
Fight Joyce again.
I mean, not even Joe Joyce. I mean, he can fight a guy like Carlos Takam first. He can fight a Charles Martin first.
That'll be a good fight.
Those make sense, but where do you put the fight set for the UK to care about him on Joshua undercards?
Yeah, I would go ahead. Why not?
Same thing Alvarez was doing with Floyd. He was on his undercard. Also, he can fight DeJour if he don't lose too bad. Alexander Povetkin, he can fight him on a Joshua undercard. He worked with Eddie now. That ain't a bad fight. So yeah, probably about get 2 years away. He gonna fight Joshua in like October 2020, or January or April 2020. It depends on him and Miller. Him and Miller getting Joshua in 2020. So yeah, you move up to test the waters. You just don't jump up and move up 20 pounds or 15 pounds, whatever you want to move up, and then just go in and fight the guy. You don't test the waters. He got to test the waters, and Mikey should test the waters as well too.
He said he would. He said he wanted Joshua and Wilder when I heard.
Okay, you said he's a couple of. You said he's through 2020. I feel like he should fight. Charles Martin, and maybe at the end of the year a Brian Jennings or something like that. That'd be a good fight.
You can fight Spilka. Then Spilka just
how that's getting you ready. What does that do? Tell you, expose you in certain places? I don't see how Jennings getting you ready for Joshua. What does he do? That's just exposing you in certain areas. That's all.
Hey, CJ, I got to cut out, bro. I'm gonna get ready for my show here in a little bit.
All right, for sure. Hey, for sure. I'm about to go ahead and cut it off too, man. Shout out to everybody. Y'all gonna keep going for a minute, man. I'm about to
if you're available later, but I gotta get ready for mine. Hey, brothers, y'all have a good morning and peace to you all.
Peace out, World Breaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Usyk down there, get his elbows punched in, be 33 years old. Nah, bro, I go for Joshua right now. He's young. Joshua's still young, still learning. Shit, I be on
Joshua make him wait.
No, he might not. That's a big fight. He just beat his little best friend up. Tony Bellew was one of his best friends. They're kissing each other on the head and shit. It's time to say the day now. He's saying the UK stand for Ukraine and shit.
Hey, hold on. Only scenario that happens next if Derek Chisora beats Dillian White, and that's not sellable, and then they go to Usyk because it's gonna go Dillian White. It's gonna go Puev is gonna be the mandatory October. The earliest he can get him is the top of 2020, to be honest. So if Derek Chisora wins, he can get him. Derek Chisora wins, he can get him in April. It's just boxing politics, man. That's all it is. It's politics because Puev just earned his mandatory, which he should have had it last October, but he was having management and promotional issues. So best case scenario is Chisora win. I don't know if Chisora is going to be sellable, for Joshua Wembley Stadium. He may be, but I think Usyk can get in right there. I don't think Big Baby Miller fighting him for another 2 years, and that's the way I just see it playing out.
Be no Joshua's champ. They put Dillian White in the ring with him. That boy new and improved. He's something else. Ain't gonna be no champ. You're gonna have a different unified UK champ. Y'all watch it.
Hey, you know what? That's not too crazy. That's not too crazy. Dillian White has improved a lot, and Anthony Joshua hasn't improved, as in my opinion, since the Klitschko fight. So I wouldn't be out of his mind. Dillian White has got tenfold better, a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
he fights like 4 times a year.
Yeah, and I was saying that's my thing about Anthony Joshua. He fight 2 times a year, and I think Dillian White, if he can improve his stamina going into the April fight, I think it wouldn't be crazy for me to favor him to beat AJ. You know what I'm saying?
It just ain't that his stamina bad. It's just that he works so much. Like he works so much that he lose something. Like he faster than these dudes. His feet faster, his hands faster, and he uses all that, and he uses so much. He just got to die down on when he uses. He counters everything with 3s and 4s. He in his own way, and not the same style, but it reminds me of Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison, see you open up, he counters with 3s and 4s, and sometimes all you need is 1, 2. All you
he's an opportunity. He's an opportunist. They overcommit, but sometimes they can work for you. Sometimes it work against you. The difference is that Dillian White get himself out of position, and when he get out of position, that's when he get hit. If he can be more technical, and see Wilder get out of position, he's 6'7". He can get away with the shit for so long until he moves a step to. Dillian White is 6'4". He can get out of position, but Dillian White got a jaw on him, so it kind of makes up the difference. Dillian White can take a shot. So at the end of the day, I feel like he could beat Joshua. That'd be some money you could put on that fight. You might can get a return on that. A hell of a return.
Let him beat up Kevin Mitchell for some UK points.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kevin Mitchell, Charles Martin.
Charles Martin signed to the zone?
No, but Charles Martin, I mean, is Al Heyman really gonna stop him from going to fight Usyk? Who want to fight?
What are you talking about, Kevin Mitchell? You talking about maybe Dave Allen? You talking about?
Oh, Kevin Mitchell just. Hey, Kevin Mitchell just went the distance with Daniel Du Bois.
Yeah, come on.
He lost every
round. Put him in there with freaking Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson.
Man, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Johnson. Yeah, you know what I meant, the old dark skin.
The white lightweight. What the fuck is he talking about?
I was legitimately surprised. I thought he was going to go down, but he never went, man. That guy has a chin, man. Real deal chin. I think he fought Vladimir.
Hey, what about your boy, Golden Glove boxer, Audie Harrison coming back?
No. yo, man. I think he should stay retired, bro. Wilder stretched him horribly when he came over to the UK and fought him, bro.
You talking about the guy with the braids?
Yeah.
Oh man, he do like a swap, he swiped at him and then he just started dancing.
Fight Fraser Quenda.
I seen that earlier. Right, fight Fraser Kendo. Yeah, man.
To be honest, it might seem crazy, but I don't think Daniel Dubois.
He could fight Chris Arreola as well.
Yeah, his trainer say every now and again his trainer say Chris Arreola is alive and breathing.
Yeah, man. You know you're bad when you get knocked out by a guy with a torn bicep and broken hand.
Is a heavyweight. I don't like injury. He hotter than ever, bro. He hotter than ever. People just paid to see Tony Bellew do it, and he had this dude looking up in the abyss and shit. And the UK fans know what's up. They know it's payback time. If he go in there tear a bicep, go in there tear a leg up, something, he can't capitalize on what. I just say go for it. You got to go for it. But I'm telling these fighters need to step up and fight the best immediately. That's how I need to be. Like I see fight after fighter that's done it. You got Adonis Stevenson jumped up a weight class, fought the lineal champion. It's others out there. You speak about Mikey Garcia. He's trying to do it, but he missed the weight class for whatever reason. Rigo tried to do it. I mean, but he's in a better position than any of them right now. He's hotter than Rigo, in my opinion, hotter than Rigo ever was, hotter than Mikey Garcia is right now. He should be doing it, man. He should be going for AJ. No injuries, no hand injuries, no none of that. Don't let Eddie Hearn do some Luis Ortiz shit that you put you on the undercard and promise you this, promise you that. Go for the gold, bro. He got the UK looking like the Ukraine right now. That shit is short for Ukraine right now. He just took y'all heart. Every fan in there said when he knocked him out. Everyone.
That is true, but like I'm telling you, man, a lot of people that knew boxing did not give Tony Bellew a single chance, man.
Man,
everyone actually knew that Tony Bellew was gonna lose.
Yeah. Didn't I tell you he didn't have no chance to gloves? Didn't I tell you? Tony Bellew can do that. I told you that nigga had no chance. Now he surprised me.
because Tony Bellew was winning that fight, bro. I mean,
he was up on the cards as well. 2 judges had him up. One judge had him up every round.
My scorecards, and people may disagree. I feel like if he lost every round after the 8th, he still would have won because he was that up on scorecards, bro.
I had it. Look, after 6, I had a 3-3. And then I can't remember exactly what I had it, but that body work, that was some good body work he's putting in. That right hand, that was the money shot. But ultimately, Usyk ended all that shit with that looping right hand. That shit was sweet as fuck.
Yo, did you see Eddie Hearn try and catch him? You see Eddie Hearn try and catch him?
Oh yeah,
you laughing when I seen that, bro. I'm dying laughing, dog. That shit was funny, bro. I was like, Eddie Hearn was like, get out.
Man, I don't like that. I don't like that referee, man. That the fat one. Okay, let me just stop saying like that. But he just like, man, he get on my nerve. I think he stopped the fight a little too early because when stops really.
Tony Bellew was buzzing, bro.
I mean, he got up at 6 and then he waved it off. He has
I think he was done.
No, I thought it was done too.
He had blood, tears, and slime coming out his face all at the same time on the canvas. He was.
Did you see him in the post fight? The guy was repeating the same thing over and over again, twice in a row, bro. He was killing Usyk like 40 times saying the same shit, bro.
That referee,
no sense.
When the fighters get knocked out cold, they need to stop interviewing them until at least the press conference, bro. I mean, come on.
Exactly. They ain't quit that, man.
They gotta stop that shit, man.
Imagine if Spilker got up, bro. They would have probably interviewed his ass, bro.
Oh man!
Like Amir Khan mastered that shit, getting knocked out with one punch and getting up doing interviews. I wouldn't do no fucking. I just got knocked the hell out. But I gotta go. Man. I gotta walk my dog. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that Josh Kelly's trainer Adam Booth said that Josh Kelly's ready to fight Amir Khan now.
He probably fucked Amir Khan. He might beat Amir Khan whole ass. He might beat Amir Khan.
If he got a chin, he gonna fuck Amir Khan up.
Hell yeah.
Nah, if he got just
Josh Kelly's slick as well. It's too slick for Amir Khan.
No, I wouldn't say he's too slick for Amir Khan. He just would knock him out.
Amir Khan don't have the feats that he used to, man. He looked terrible in that last fight.
He don't have no legs no more, man. He don't have no legs with Samuel Vargas. What's up, CB Sports TV?
But I just want to say about that referee. He stops fight. He stops fight a little too early, and then when fights really needs to be stopped, he don't stop him. Like, did you see when he refereed Nathan Clever versus Sergey Kovalev? Like, Nathan Clever got knocked down twice. He picked him up off the canvas and carried him back to his corner.
Oh, they nothing like Jack Reese. Remember the Yuri Foreman fight with Jack Reese?
Oh my god!
Back out. He remember they threw the towel back at the corner and let Yuri Foreman take a beat around the two.
It's on that dude boxing live. The little, you know how you do the combinations of worst referee moments.
Yeah,
it's on that.
That shit was crazy. That shit was terrible. But yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. Salute to everybody. I know I forgot about the chat. About to go walk miles. Salute. Yeah, I hear you crying. I'm about to take you outside. All right. Appreciate y'all coming through. We gone.